I am joined now by the owner of Stadium View Sports Cards, right?
Correct.
PIV, how are you doing? Thank you so much for the beer. Thank you so much for having me in. How are you doing, and how is the business going?
Business is barely enough to keep the door open, but I do enough to pay my taxes, pay my utilities, and that's and insurance basically for the year. And probably don't make much after that, but there's enough friends that come back that I'm not going to close yet.
So this place has been around for over 30 years, and you have seen a lot of great College World Series memories. I want to ask you about the old Rosenblatt days.
Okay.
What were those days like? And you were telling me a story before we started recording here. Talk about those old Rosenblatt days.
Well, the whole street was tents, vendor tents, and like the last 10 years it was down here, they allowed temporary bars, which they never did before. The first, basically 10 years I was open, there was two places to get a beer in the area. One was here, and mine were free, and then the guy up the street was the bar up the street was charging. So I got a lot of people that liked the price of free beer. But it was just all the way up and down. Some of these houses to the north of me, teams would rent the house and move the people out for 3 weeks. And Cal State Fullerton had one for the whole time I was here and Rosenblatt was here. They would bring all their baseball boosters, and that would be their party house.
I want to ask you about the free beer. Obviously, how many free beers have you given away in 30-something years of doing this?
Estimate, it might be low, 65,000.
Wow. What is that feeling like when somebody comes in here? Obviously, like me, I'm a first-time comer. You said, would you like a beer? What do you see out of those people who come in and you offer them a beer and walk around in such an amazing establishment like this?
Most of the men end up buying after they get a free beer. Most are somewhat astonished by somebody just giving them a beer. I remember, and this was just last year, the guy from Barstool Sports walks in and looks around and he says, "I'm in heaven." And I said, "Well, you want a beer?" And he said, "Now I am in heaven." So he filmed the whole place and sent it out to his people. But people like when the series was strong down here, I would cook almost every day. First day was always seafood jambalaya, and then I'd do ribs, I'd do all kinds of stuff. So people enjoyed being here, Back then I'd sell World Series shirts. I can't afford to put them in because I don't have that many customers anymore. And I only produce shirts for this place. But it was surprising to most people, but it was good loss leader. The height of the series here, I would go to 150 to 200 cases a year.
Wow. So do you get a discount on the beers when you buy the beers? Do you get a discount on the beers?
No.
So I got to ask you, what made you want to do this? This is like when I walked in, I was speechless. I walked in. Everybody's told me this is the place to be in Omaha. Why?
I don't know why. I bought the place. I was in collecting since '78 and dealing some in collecting. And this came open, and back then there were houses across the street. Still, they tore those down about 2 years after I bought this. But it was a courier business, and it was up for sale. And the price was right, and the guy would carry part of the mortgage back. So I thought, well, it'll be fun, and it was. It is.
So I want to ask you, what has been couple of your favorite memories so far doing this? Because, I mean, like I said, everybody from the SEC Network to ESPN, Barstool, now the Mitch Davis Show is coming here, and they all leave with the same impression that this place, we were talking on the phone, and somebody said that this place reminded them of Cooperstown. I've never been to Cooperstown personally, but when I imagine heaven, I, one, imagine the College World Series, and two, I imagine a place like this.
Well, and in fact, I've gotten that 5 times already this year from people that this place could be transplanted. Because that's all old buildings like this and full of crap. The couple of the most amazing was the last night. My brother was a head writer for the World Herald, and as a result, the media would all finish their stories over there, and they would come over here rather than going to a bar because they knew I'd be open until midnight, and that once they shipped their stories about 10:30 or 11, they could get a beer. Or we always had vodka and whiskey around too. But, so they'd all come over. But the last night, the last game, for some reason they decided that they were going to put a chain link fence all around Rosenblatt that year, like it was a gulag or something. And so they did. And we were open till 4:30. I went home for an hour, and then I got back here at 6:30 to do an interview. But that night, every sports writer in the country was in here, and we were all reminiscing and drinking. And so it was quite an experience. And I might have got a little tipsy that night, and that Arizona state flag over there, that about 12-foot by 4-foot flag. Yeah. In order to make the gulag look better over there, what they did was they put a bunch of those signs all on the gulag. And so I decided that I had some bolt cutters, and that was going to be mine. So I got that. I've had a lot of great people in, Kevin Costner,
wow.
Gene Stevenson, let's see, George Brett.
Oh, wow.
A lot of baseball players over the years. George Brett, that was a great story.
So let me ask you about this. I got 2 more questions for you, and these next 2 are really, really personal. I'm actually looking forward to asking these. What does college baseball and baseball mean to you personally? Because you look around, and I'm looking, and I mean, you see all of these great merchandise, and you see all of this Pete Rose is on the wall. You see the Arizona State. You see a scoreboard from the old Rosenblatt Stadium. What does college baseball, and baseball in particular, mean to you?
Well, I played baseball I still play softball right now. I'm 67 years old. I played baseball. I had a couple of scholarship offers when I went to college, but I decided I'd do it. I was pretty good academically, so I had a lot better offers academically. Because college baseball scholarships, even today, aren't much, So it meant a lot to me. But as far as the College World Series, when I was 8 to 10 years old, my parents would drive me and my brother down here, drop us off at 10 o'clock in the morning. And back then, they ran 4 games a day.
Yeah.
So they had a morning game, like a 1-something game. Then an early evening game and a late evening game. So I would spend my whole day there. And the first 2 games you could set wherever you want. You could sit on the dugout, actually, because nobody came. So I grew up with the College World Series. Got away from it when I first started practicing law, but then when this place came open, it brought me back. And college baseball is those kids that are, so pure, and they're the love of the game, and truly the love of the game they play for. Because most of them are never going to do anything after their, last game, their senior year. So.
Last question I have for you. When it's all said and done, and this you leave this world, or you pass on, or whatever, what would you like the legacy, not only your legacy, but the legacy of this place to mean to the world of college baseball?
I don't know. Just that it's the college course.
Yeah.
So that people wanted to be here.
And you can feel it. I had telling you, my friend over there could tell you, I pulled up yesterday, picked up this credential, and I got it back out to the car. I had tears like you have right now, and I was like, I'm at the College World Series. Like, there's something so pure and so humbling about being here. I've been to a lot of Cardinals games, been to Red Sox games, all those. But there's something different about this place. And you walk in. And, Piv, I really appreciate you taking the time talking to the Mitch Davis Show, and really wish you guys the best, and thank you so much.
Send them here.